Welcome to Unsigned 518. I'm here with Billy of Billy and the Great Western Postal Service. How's it going, man?
Not bad at all. It's awesome to be here.
And you know, if this was a video podcast, people would see how quickly my dog Calvin has accepted Billy. Calvin is fucking up on the couch with him, snuggled right in. I'll post something to socials. Go check out the socials because you know
I gotta say, Calvin's really stealing the show here and might be giving the interview.
Yeah, he does steal the show, and it is the vibe check. You know, like.
It's going to make me want to take a nap, too. It's been a long day.
Totally. All right. So what we're going to do, we talked a little bit before we got rolling, and we're going to kind of go back and allow you to tell the story of Billy and the Great Western Postal Service the way you want to tell it. So I guess literally just kind of I'm going to hand it over to you, start the story wherever, and let's do this.
Oh, thank you. So Billy has been a project that I think I've wanted to do but didn't know I wanted to do for a really long time. I grew up out in Western New York near Cooperstown area, and near Cooperstown means, 45 minutes from Cooperstown. Right. Everything's in the middle of nowhere out there. And I grew up surrounded by country music, some good, some really not good. And I think growing up, the sounds of old country music kind of stuck with me, but I didn't really realize it. And I got to college, and I played in punk bands. I played in funk bands. I played in a rap group for a while. I played probably every kind of music that I can think of. And I was in a punk band for a long time. I think that's when I met you, Andy, when playing in a band called El Modernist back in Saratoga. And this was a few years ago, back before COVID. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was a singer in that band.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that was like long before the podcast, long before the band.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I had short hair and no beard, and it was a very different time. COVID did me dirty. But I was, we were coming out of COVID, and we were just kind of home. Or not, I guess we were in COVID. We were just kind of sitting home, not really doing anything. And I watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs. You ever seen that?
Sure.
That very first vignette where they sing "When a Cowboy Trades Spurs for Wings." Oh, wow. I was like, that is the perfect song. It's 2 minutes and 12 seconds long. Just two choruses, a verse, and two choruses. And I know it really sparked an interest in all right, I'm going to go listen to some old like Johnny Paycheck. I'm going to go listen to Buck Owens. I'm going to go listen to Willie and Waylon and all of these like classic standard old country, like right. And hearing the way that country music is, it's like jazz in that it has standards that are built into it, and I think that was such a cool tradition, and the concept of like this music is simple, and this music is simple on purpose, so that if you were in a group of people sitting at a campfire and you all had an instrument, somebody could start playing,
right,
and you would all know how to play the song. You could all sing along. You could all play with it.
You'd know the structure.
Yeah, you know it immediately. Yeah. It's a type of music that broadcasts what the structure is going to be. It lets you know what the next chord change is going to be from a mile away. It's like, oh, we're going to the 4 here. Don't worry. We're going to go there. And I thought it was such a cool... It's so cool to use that vocabulary to try to make new music. And so I started writing the first single, Why Is It All Here, and that first EP, Water and Gin, like in my basement alone. I recorded everything but the drums and the pedal steel. Drums was Joe Tyrone of Bruiser and Bicycle. Sure. And pedal steel was Ian of Mayhaven.
Yep, he's been on the show twice, I think.
Excellent steel player.
Yeah. Great dude, too.
Yeah, great dude. Incredible steel player. So wrote those songs, recorded them in the basement, and they were almost a little like overly cowboy. And I think it was really just coming from the punk band, coming from playing in, rather technical jam bands, being like, I'm going to do this and see if I can play any cowboy music. And, recording that as a there wasn't really much country music in Albany at that point. Brule County had just gotten started, and Steve obviously has been around and playing incredible country music. Steve Hammond.
Okay.
But there wasn't really much in like active country music at that point. So I'm like, everyone's gonna hate this. This is gonna be a just absolute like dive into the wall. Let's see what happens. And released it, and people were like, "Oh, this is cool that this is happening in Albany." And I was like, "Whoa, I can't believe it." And I've been really fortunate to have a group of musicians say, "Hey, I want to play with you." And it's been about just over a year of playing fairly consistently, and we've really, I think, kind of come together as a band, and it's been really cool to get to write with them and play all sorts of cool
I've
songs.
definitely seen, obviously I try to be as multi-genre on this show as I can. Like, my bread and butter is punk rock. Like, I'm a skate punk, ska, like, that type of shit. That's like what I'm really, but like I've been trying to expand my horizons, and the show has like helped me do, and I've found that the country scene, and I'm calling it like right now as we're sitting in fucking early 2025, I'm calling right now like the country scene in Albany is about to be big. Like, it's getting not just the acceptance, but like you said, it's getting the enthusiastic response. You know what I mean?
Very
like,
cool to see.
And you were kind of like, I don't know if, and it's like, no, it's the exact fucking opposite of that. Because even me, as like a punk rock kid, I'm finding that my enjoyment for country music that I'm hearing locally comes from that connection to punk rock. Like, I hear, like in Brule County, and like even in like AMs, and I hear
I firmly believe
sensibility
that punk rock and country
they're close.
They are so closely related. They're right next to each other. If you go back, I mean, obviously, can I say? Yeah, I guess I could say this. 9/11 was the worst thing that ever happened to country music.
Sure.
That's my statement. I'm going to stick by it.
All right.
That was the worst thing that ever happened to country music. Because, before...
I thought it was Garth Brooks, but,
See, like, I could get behind that. But, see, I also like Brooks and Dunn. So, like, there's some... I like some cheesy, like, leisure shoot country. That stuff.
And see, that's where I lost it. Like, I grew up in, like, a country household. And so, like, when I was younger, it was, like, Waylon and Willie. And, like, I didn't like it specifically because it was my parents' music.
I love you, Dad. That's what Jimmy Buffett was for me. And I've come back around. I do,
Same.
R.I.P. to a goat. I love Jimmy Buffett music. But growing up, it was just too much Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, like, same for me. Like, Willie Nelson, like, the thought of Willie Nelson, like, fucking killed me. Like, it killed. And then, by the time I got to, like, my teenage years, I was like, man, I was wrong.
Stuff
Like,
rocks.
it's actually really good.
Willie's like one of the best singers of all time. It's incredible.
Yeah, so it's like, that's like the country, that I have been able to get behind my whole adult life. But like some of the like poppy country, like, it just, I was like, I cannot get behind. I can't.
It doesn't have a story to it. And I think that the most important thing about country music, and this is the most important thing to me, has always been lyrics and story.
Right.
And like, I think that circles back to the concept that this music is simple. It's not hard to play. It's not hard to figure out. So you better tell a story.
Right.
You better have something to say. If not, you're just twiddling the same 3 chords. We can all twiddle those 3 chords.
Right.
And I think it's lost in a lot of this really popular pop country music. Is just there's no real story. And it's like when you can boil country down to, beer, girls, and pickup trucks, it's like, What happened to Mama Tried? What happened to Wild Side of Life? What happened to all of these incredible stories, like How I Got to Memphis? All of these stories of heartbreak, of like true remorse for things that have happened, which I think really like defines good country music.
And maybe that's why, I can relate to it too. Because like I was saying before we got recording, I think we were talking about podcasts, and I was saying like the podcasts that I listen to are primarily storytelling podcasts. Like, I love being told a story. Like, I like a narrative, and like if a song has a good, like look at fucking Devil Went Down to Georgia. Like you could make a fucking movie about that. Like
Absolutely.
you could just take that song and be like, here, make a movie about it, and it would be a decent movie. I'm surprised have they done that?
Ooh.
I don't know if anybody's done that, but if they haven't, like dibs. No,
yeah.
I don't know how to make.
All right, do you want to make a movie?
Yeah, but like that would be a great movie because that story, it sticks with you. You know the story.
Yeah, and you end up in this. I don't know, if you listen to a lot of country music in a row and you get like a good playlist going and you get a good like old country playlist going, it's the stories that you hear like go back and forth between like, it's kind of lighthearted, things are going on or whatever. Then there's just some ones in there that are just bleak.
Right.
Like, this is the sound of a person scraping rock bottom.
I mean, that's the same with punk rock too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like think of like Social Distortion. Like Social Distortion is like a fucking half a step away from country music.
Oh, absolutely.
You could slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm noticing that pipeline too in learning country musicians from other scenes now and starting to meet people. I mean, we all played in punk bands. Every single one of us. There's not, you don't meet one country musician who wasn't, I was in a punk band before this. It's like, of course you were.
Yeah.
So was I. So it was, we played punk music. You got that energy and that aggression and the ideals. And those ideals are the same as country music's ideals. As controversial as like we are at the bottom of the totem pole.
It's the working person's
It's
music.
the working people. Yeah. And it's all of us are on the same team. Everybody at the bottom of the totem pole should be on the same team.
Yeah.
And we sing our songs. It is about us. And the bottom of the totem pole makes the best music. It's just how it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the guys at the top of the totem pole make terrible music.
They really do. They really do. I don't know. I'm not to get political, but I'm glad our side makes the better music because
Yeah, it's there's a lot to be said about the state of the world right now, but there is some incredible art happening.
There is, for sure.
Important to hold on to.
And it's always locally. And like I said, that brings me back to like what I'm saying, like about the country scene is that like I, for one, as someone who never really liked country music, am finding myself like listening to it because not only because I've met the artists, but because like I understand where it's coming from. And I'm telling you, a lot of that stuff is fucking punk rock. Like
Absolutely.
It's 100% punk rock. So I dig it, and I support the country uprising here in the 518.
Yeah, it's 2025 is the year of country. That's how it's going to be.
It's coming, man. It's definitely coming. So we're going to talk about, you've got maybe some new music in the works, and we're going to maybe play a song live here in the Dazzle Den. But right now we're going to do a song off something that's already out, correct?
Yes.
So what were we going to play?
So we're gonna listen to Virginia, which is off of Water and Gin, which is our EP that's out right now. This is one of those tracks that was recorded basically alone in the basement before I really got to play with some of the incredible musicians that I get to work with. But the stalwart through this whole thing has been Taylor, who's my roommate, lead guitar player and backup singer. And he has been here from the very beginning, learned to play country music for this project, has been incredible through this whole thing. And then the guitar solo is played by my younger brother,
nice.
Who works for Syracuse University, but is an incredible guitar player. And this is a song about a classic cowboy song about dying in the desert.
All right, cool. Well, let's listen to Virginia, Billy and the Great Western Postal Service, and then we'll be right back to talk some more with Billy.
I met Virginia on my longest day. It was hot as hell and I was choking on the dust. As she stood and offered me the first water I'd seen in a week, it's the closest closest thing to love I'd ever been. She said, come sit beside me while you drink. Tell me a story you never told. Or we won't say anything and we'll turn that water into gin. It's the closest thing to love I'd ever seen. What tears me to pieces is I'll never learn to dance the way you do. I hope that sweet dreams night where you get caught, it's the closest thing to love I'd ever seen. Now as that sunset, it starts to fade, and I can feel that cold settling in. Jenny said you shouldn't think as she poured me another drink. It's the closest thing to love I'd ever seen. Thing to love I'd ever seen. Last thing Virginia said to me is that the universe, it's merciful to man. Lad, it won't let you die with your throat gone dry. I've spent nights like this with many more than you. I've seen my share of wonders, I've seen a miracle or two, but none could ever hope to compare to sweet Virginia comforting a poor soul there's never been. It's the closest thing to love I'd ever seen. It's the closest thing to love I'd ever seen. It's the closest thing to love I'd ever seen.
All right, that was Virginia, Billy and the Great Western Postal Service. And Billy, that one is on one that is out now. The EP is out everywhere. But you're currently working on a new album, is that correct?
It's true. We are in the middle of tracking for LP1. It's going to be called Pines, and it is probably still a little ways off, but we're really, really excited. We got through about half of the tracking already, and it's going to be, I think it's very different than what this first record was. There's still a few callbacks to more cowboy stuff, but I think this is a little bit more breadth.
And is it like the earlier stuff is mostly just you or all just you? Or
Yeah.
And now you're working like as a collaborative. So, I mean, is the more breadth of it, the bigger scope, is that from the collaboration, is like the input from everybody else is just bringing it a new light, or are you still kind of creative director over it?
I think anytime you bring a band together, it's good to have the democracy of it. And I think Sam and Mike, Sabrina and Taylor and Aves have all brought incredible things to this that have informed how we've been writing going forward. And definitely going into this record, sitting down with Mike and Sam on drums and bass, we really reworked a lot of these songs. But I also think being more comfortable not aping a specific style in this and being more comfortable with this style of music in general speaks a lot. And I think that just comes from playing it for a couple of years and really working on writing stuff that is a less like direct reference to things that I love and being more selective and choosy with the parts that I want to lift. A good songwriter is just a better thief, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Like, it's not like I mean, that's a black and white way of saying it, but for anybody that doesn't know, like, I mean, obviously, a songwriter is taking from other
Everything you've ever
songwriters.
heard.
Like, you're not living in a fucking vacuum. Like, if you've heard a song, or you have a band, especially if you have like certain bands that you listen to, and you like absorb this band's catalog.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way you're not putting some of that into your
Oh
music.
yeah, it's definitely yeah. Don't get it confused as saying I'm going to take these notes. But
Right.
If I've heard that collection of notes and I'm like, I really love that, and I love that every time I hear it, because I wouldn't be the first one to steal those.
There's
7
only
notes.
12 of them.
Yeah, there's only 12 of them. I'm not the first one borrowing them, and I didn't. I'm a firm believer of the idea that songwriters, as much as anybody can claim, oh, you created this piece of art, I'm not entirely convinced that we do. I think we find it. I think we find songs. I think there's been moments where I'm just on the guitar playing around, and then all of a sudden you play 3 chords in a row. Oh, I think this is where this is supposed to go.
Or like at the same time, like I'm sure you've had times when you're just playing around and all of a sudden you fall into a song and you're like, oh, wait, this is so-and-so song. That's,
oh, absolutely.
That I've heard, like, so like that balance of being able to take those elements, it's almost like I said, you're not hearing, or you're not growing up in a vacuum. It's almost like cooking.
Yeah,
You have your ingredients, and you can't be like, well, someone's already used salt before, so you can't fucking.
Yeah, I can't have salt now.
Can't use that.
Sorry, that guy used salt 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, no more salt.
Can't use salt. No, oregano's gone. Somebody use that. Yeah.
Oh, they use thyme. I hate when that happens.
So it's the same thing. You're taking those little elements, and again, that's like with the country music and the punk, like hearing those elements in country music as an aging punker makes me want to listen to it, because I'm like, I hear it.
It's the same emotion, just a little slower.
Yeah, and like I can hear it, and it's those elements that were lifted from a completely different genre that makes music fucking beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been so cool seeing, especially now, a lot of modern country music, including like Sierra Farrell, Willow Avalone, Margo Price. There's a lot of really great modern country, Tyler Childers, people who have really embraced the tradition, but made it modern, but are really leaning into the idea of underproduced, song-driven country, and I think that's just.
Yeah, and I think like that 90s trend that I was poo-pooing before, like that almost made it like too modern.
Yeah.
And it dated it. It like put a fucking timestamp on it. You know what I mean? You're like, well, that's a 90s country song.
The early 2000s, you can tell. And it doesn't matter what this is music, this is fashion, this is movies, this is anything. That's from 2002.
Right.
Oh, you can tell.
Yeah.
The moment you see it. So
yeah, there's like a timestamp on it. It's like they did too much.
You work too hard at it. It's like, classic is always classic.
Absolutely. And that's like the same with punk rock. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But I can't remember who it was. I think it might have like Iggy Pop or somebody. It was like an old punker that was like, 2 chords is fine. 3 is pushing it. 4 is fucking jazz. And then like it works,
It's
like
true.
it works. Like if I'm sitting down to write a song like with our band, like I don't go any more than 4.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Probably
most
mostly
verses are
just
3.
3, yeah. 3 and then 2 for the chorus, and I'm good.
That's fine.
Like get
It
out
works.
of there. Like,
Yeah, 3 chords and the truth. That's what they say, right? That's country music.
Yeah.
3 chords and the truth.
Yeah, I fucking love it. All right, so new album. It's in the, some of them you said have been tracked.
Yes.
So like, there's certainly no release date, but it's like on its way.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Some point.
Hopefully this summer,
Cool.
going into the fall. But there should be something pretty soon.
Sweet. So we'll make sure to look out for that. And then right now you're gonna play a song here live in the Dazzle Den. You brought along your guitar, and is this something that's on the new album, the one that's coming out, right?
So this song is called Cold Snap, and it's the opening track on the new record. And I think something that I found kind of cool about this record, as I say, as the person who wrote it, but maybe it's cool, is that the songs were written over the course of about 2 years. And in that time, my life changed in a lot of different ways. And the songs follow, not exactly, I'm not writing the story of what happened, but it's interesting to go back and look at the songs written in the order that they were written and seeing where I was at that point. Even if I don't necessarily remember the day I wrote that song, I don't remember when this happened or that happened to, I wrote this song when this happened and this thing happened, I reacted. I don't know that, but I can tell where I was. And this song is the beginning of Pines, and it's kind of bleak, not going to lie.
Well, sometimes shit is, At least it's bleak in the beginning, you know what I mean?
It's
and
true. I'm very lucky.
It leaves room for optimism,
I think there might be some optimism on this record, which is, I know that's what nobody's tuning into Billy and the Great Western Postal Service to hear, but maybe a little bit.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's check out Cold Snap, Billy of Billy and the Great Western Postal Service live here in the Dazzle Den. And then we'll be right back to wrap it up.
I hear we're in for another snowstorm, just as things were melting as it got warm. So hold me close and I won't need a jacket. Nothing keeps me warm the way your arms always do. But hey, I love the way you stop me being the worst that I could be. I'd always wanted to feel like I'm needed, but that was the worst part of me. And I feel the west wind blows a chill up off the lake and reeling a cold snap that'll make your body ache, and deal with the fact that you'll be gone tomorrow. Day will fade and night will follow. I hope this will be the last cold day this year. I wish I knew you back when I was younger, back when I was dumber, when this world felt small. You'd always seem to hold on to wonder in the stars and the thunder, how I miss you now. I'd always hate the way I'd stopped you from being the best that you could be. I'd always known that your best shot was leaving, so here's your chance, go be free. And I feel the west wind blows a chill up off the lake and reel in a cold snap that'll make your body ache, and deal with the fact that you'll be gone tomorrow. Day will fade and night will follow. I hope this will be the last cold day this year. cold snap that'll make your body ache, and deal with the fact that you'll be gone tomorrow. Day will fade and night will follow. I hope this'll be the last cold day this year.
All right, that was Cold Snap, Billy and the Great Western Postal Service live here in the Dazzle Den. And Billy, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming to do this with me. It was a really cool hang, and I appreciate it. And before we go, like I do with all my guests, I just want to give you a chance to say your gratitude, so the microphone is all yours.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to you. Thank you for having me here and in this awesome, awesome space, and for all you do for the scene. Andy, it means a lot. And, a litany of people that I need to thank, and I hope I don't forget anybody, and I'll do my best. I have to thank my band. I have to thank Sam, Mike, Aves, Sabrina, and Taylor, who have offered and volunteered their time to really help bring these songs to life and play all these shows that we have already played and have coming up. And none of this really would exist if y'all weren't part of this. I have to thank everyone I've ever been in a band with before. Will, Joe, Josh, Zane. Oh man, there's too many to count now. I mean, at this point, Mike and Hunter from Grape Juice, everybody that loves you, just all the people that play music with me, who have shown me so many things and taught me so much about playing, about being in bands, about just how to make art that is enjoyable for me and for the creative aspect of everything. I have to thank my parents. Wouldn't be here without them. Thank my brothers, both for being friends growing up and for being people who question me now that I'm a grown-up. And I think I have to thank the most directly for being here is probably my grandmother and my grandpa, who in third grade insisted that I was going to go play piano and got me into piano lessons, and ended up, here we're here nigh on 30 years later, and it's been an incredible journey that I know started with me complaining about practicing Mary Had a Little Lamb, and now here we are, and it's really cool to think back on all of the music that I've been able to make, and I have to thank her for that. And I, thank everybody in the Albany music scene. It's such a beautiful place to make music of any kind, really. It's been such an honor to watch it grow. I got to Albany about 10 years ago at College of St. Rose. Another R.I.P. And through my time there and the time afterwards leading up to now, the quality of musician that has come from that establishment, even if it doesn't exist anymore, is incredible. But also just the artists that I've come across here in Albany, it's just incredible to see. It's incredible to work around and near Brule County and Steve Hammond and the Hold On Honeys and all just incredible country artists in Albany, that it's really cool to be part of the scene. And I'm always, every time we get asked to play a show, I'm mind blown that people would ask us to play shows with them. And I was like, these are heroes. These are people that I really, really respect in their songwriting and their, the ethos, the way they are. And it's been incredible to get to play with Steve and with Brule. And thank Calvin being the best
Podcast
co-star.
dog.
Yeah, this is incredible. I've had the best hangs here. Yeah, just thank you for all you do and for having this opportunity here. This is incredible.
All right, so he is Billy of Billy and the Great Western Postal Service. I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned 518. I'll see you on the road. Unsigned 518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you would like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening. Or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.